You are now listening to WSN, Wolf Sports Network, live from the University of West Georgia in Carrollton, now an Odyssey station.
Live from Carrollton, Georgia, this is Sports Pack.
Home of the hottest takes and the best interviews in college radio.
Hold on, wait a minute. We need a little more energy. This is Sports Pack. Yeah, there we go.
Home of the hottest takes and debates.
There is no way I'm going to sit here and roll with Jared Stidham and Aiden O'Connell.
Richard.
There's just no way.
And the best interviews in college radio.
This is five-time Olympic medalist Alana Myers-Taylor.
This is Super Bowl champion quarterback Brad Johnson, and you're listening to Sports Pack on the Wolf Sports Network.
You know what time it is. Wolf's Country.
Let's ride.
What is up, everybody? And welcome to another beautiful Thursday episode of Sports Pack. As always, I'm your host, Richard Reed, joined by Jackson Schrader, John Howley, and returning from the campaign trail, she went from Pennsylvania to Pensacola, all the way over to Ireland, and back here to Carrollton, Georgia to make it to this Thursday's Sports Pack. Carlie Perry, ladies and gentlemen, she is back off the campaign trail, like I already said. I'm so excited to get back and get into this show. We have a lot to talk about. I feel like week in and week out we talk about this might be the biggest college football weekend ever. But we mean it this time. This might be the best one we've seen this season. And we've seen some great ones already. We got some call-ins. We got some people on hold waiting to be called into the show. We have a big-time NFL weekend. And it is homecoming in West Georgia. So let's start there, shall we? Let's start talking about these homecoming weekend games we got.
Is Widener rolls to the right. He's got some time. Everybody's down at the end zone. He heaves it. And it is caught for a touchdown.
We are one. Go Wolves.
You heard me right. It's homecoming weekend. And a lot of people in here, a lot on the show, ready to turn up this weekend. But before we do that, Carlie, I know how y'all get. Y'all want to get all wild for homecoming. Me, I'll be inside on my couch, sitting back, watching movies, watching football, just enjoying a regular weekend.
Blasphemy.
But look, before we get to our weekends, we got to talk about the games going on. One game, a little bigger than the rest, the homecoming football game. I'm not saying the other ones aren't as important. There's just a lot more that goes into the homecoming football game. For most schools that have football teams, the homecoming football game is the game everyone looks forward to. Even if you don't win the game if you don't win a game the rest of the season, as long as you win on homecoming, it doesn't hurt as bad. And look, right now we only have one win on the season. So this right here is a must win. We have an expected 10,000 people expected to be on campus at this game on Saturday. We need this. The tailgate's going to be crazy. Everything else is going to be crazy. But the weekend will be a little more sweeter if we can get this win against Shorter. Carlie, let's start here. What do the West Georgia Wolves need to do to win this game this weekend?
I think they need to vote Carlie for homecoming core.
Amen. That's fair. I agree.
I think that'll really help them. Voting closes tomorrow at 11:59, so if you're a UWG student, go ahead and do that. But honestly, no, they really have to put it into gear. And I think last week, looking at that Central Arkansas game, they really stepped it up against a really good team. And I think if they can play like that against this D2 Shorter team, I think they really need to put the hammer down on them.
I say we need to start Quincy Casey and throw the ball to Dylan Gary, and we will succeed. We saw that last week. That's how we made that very impressive comeback. So, man, if we do that, we should win this game.
That dude, Dylan Gary, 3 touchdowns last weekend. He's a
machine.
monster. And Carmelo English, oh, my gosh, those dudes.
Yeah, he's pretty good, too.
Those dudes are dudes. Let me put it like that. Those dudes are
Yeah.
dudes. Now, John, going into this week, earlier in the season, it would been very easy for the team to be really down on themselves.
Yeah.
But before the show, me and you were talking about it, and you said this team is feeling really hyped going into this week.
Yeah, from a certain source, a good friend of mine, he told me, he's with the team. The team has been hyped all week, especially as you were talking about earlier. After the way you played against one of the best teams in the country, that's awesome. So then they've been playing, practice has been awesome. The vibes have been great. Everyone's been fired up. Coach is making sure they're fired up. So it seems like we're going to go in there and have a fun game, but they know we can take this and keep running with this momentum.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we need. This is what we need to get this back going. Whom's the thunk it? Shout out Josh Pate. Who would have thought that last week's game on the road against Central Arkansas will be what helped give this team a spark. Putting Quincy Casey in the game changed the entire dynamic for this West Georgia Wolves team. They kicked it into high gear. That offense has never looked that good. The running game still wasn't the greatest, but Quincy made that offense look fluid for the first time really since week one. Man, they looked incredible once they put Quincy in. I'm looking forward to seeing him play in person this weekend against Shorter, and I'm really hoping he can really help this team stay strong throughout the rest of the season and really finish this season out strong. I would love to go undefeated from homecoming. Can you imagine that?
Oh, it'd be
go
awesome,
undefeated
dude.
from homecoming. That would be incredible and the perfect way to end the first season of the Joel Taylor era. But look, I misspoke a little earlier in the show. I said one game was more important than others. Look, they're all West Georgia athletics. All these games matter. Now, do we care a lot about homecoming? Yeah. Some people might have agreed with what I said, but that doesn't make it right. There are also some other games going on this weekend, starting tonight, as our West Georgia women's soccer team is at home taking on Lipscomb right now, as we speak, right here today. They're playing right now. Hopefully they can get back in the win column, get some positive momentum going because they do only have 3 games left this season. Tonight at home against Lipscomb, Sunday against Austin P at 1 p.m., and next Friday, another home game versus Queens. 3 home games in a row. I would love to see them get 3 home wins in a row to end off this season because it's been a rough one so far.
Yeah, I mean, this Lipscomb team they're 8-3-4.
Oh.
They are sitting at 4th in the ASUN, and they're going to be a tough opponent. But I think that this West Georgia team really just needs a spark to just get this win, finish out this season strong, and prove that something good did come from this season.
Just win is what I gotta say.
Just win.
Just win. Just win one more before the season's over. Just have a little pride to take with you.
It's time to win this game and hit the portal. Because, look, I might not know much about college women's soccer, but I do know they got some dogs in that transfer portal. They're always looking for a good home, and what better home than Carrollton, Georgia? It's beautiful out here at the University of West Georgia.
You took the words out of my mouth.
The city of dreams, baby. It's time to hit that portal hard because I know firsthand there are some dogs in that transfer portal with women's soccer and every sport around. I had one of my best friends was in the transfer portal this past cycle. Ended up at Kennesaw State University doing great things up there. But wouldn't it be great if we could get a couple of those girls, dynamic girls that want a better stage, to come on down here to this Division I program at the University of West Georgia? Let's do it. If you need a recruiting coordinator, look at my LinkedIn page. It says I'm open for work because I indeed am. I will get on the recruiting trail and help y'all succeed. I want to see this team have a winning record before I leave. And if I got to get my hands dirty, get out there and recruit them myself, baby, I'll do it. Let's go throw me a couple NIL dollars. I got some Jefferson's money. We can spare some change. We got this. Now, before we move on, a couple more games going on this weekend with our women's volleyball team. Tomorrow at 6 p.m., they're taking on Bellarmine University, another home game in the Coliseum. And on Sunday, October 20th, my birthday, they are taking on Eastern Kentucky, another home game in the Coliseum. Would love to see them get 2 wins in a row. This is a very talented team. They've just been very inconsistent. We really need them to get going. Look, it'd make my birthday on Sunday if y'all can win this game. Zoe, if you're listening, win it for me. Win it for my birthday.
Lock in for real, though.
Lock in for our tweak out. Now, before we take this quick break, quick word from our sponsors. Dining dollars are available to use at the East Commons Pack Shack, TLC, Noonan Micro Mart, and in any Coca-Cola vending machine on campus. More information can be found at UWG Dine_West on Instagram. Now, stay tuned. We're going to take a quick song break, but when we get back, we're going to do some big-time call-ins. We got some people on hold waiting to get on. Stay tuned. This is Sports Pack on Wolf Sports Network.
Hey, this is 5-time Olympic medalist Alana Myers-Taylor, and you're listening to Sports Pack, only on the Wolf Sports Network.
Quick reminder for those of you that may be watching on Twitch or YouTube, we here at Wolf Sports Network are indeed a radio station first. And right now we're taking a quick song break. So go to wolfsportsnetwork.com, hit the play button in the top left corner of the screen, or hit play here in the middle of the screen to hear the fantastic music that we're playing right now. It's a throwback from my childhood. I love this song. a lot. I love the song. I love the song like "Little Pretty Girl Rock." Mama, I know you want to hear this, but stay tuned. We'll be back soon with some call-ins.
Their team sucks and they're mad as heck. Falcons One's looking like a mess. They'll never win if Kirk is in. Goodness gracious, they're fired up.
Wait, Jackson, why are you dissing the Falcons? Aren't you an Eagles fan?
Because I can. Anyways, tune into Sports Out of Pocket every Wednesday at 5 for Fire Me Ups you don't want to miss. Only on Wolf Sports Network.
All right, right back to it, and we've got some calls on, so let's pick up. Here we go right here. Let's take this first one. Sports Pack, this is Richard speaking.
My name is Nolan Johnson. I'm from Atlanta. The NFC North, I feel, is not being talked about enough as each team is separated by one game. I feel the Lions win the whole thing, but 2, 3, and 4, I have no idea how that order is going to go.
Okay.
Who do y'all feel is going to win it, and what do you see for the rest of that division?
That's a pretty tough question because when you look at the NFC North, they're really good top to bottom. The Lions, obviously one of the Super Bowl favorites going into this season, but the Vikings have been a very pleasant surprise behind that dominant defense, and Sam Darnold really reviving his career with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison at receiver. You got the Packers with Jordan Love, who is one of the highest paid quarterbacks in NFL history right now. They have a really opportunistic defense that's been playing really well this season, along with a strong, deep receiving core. And then you have the Bears, who've really been getting better week after week. Their defense is really good, and Caleb Williams has been getting better and better. That offense is starting to look better and better. It's pretty tough, Schrader. I'm going to let you take it first. What do you pause? I'm gonna let you handle this question first. How do you think the NFC North is gonna shake out?
Yeah, I'm almost looking at it right now, kind of shocked. I don't think I've looked at the standings in a while. I didn't realize the Bears were 4-2.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize the Packers are sitting at 4-2, but they're last in the division. I didn't realize how competitive this division is, but I'm looking at it now. I think the only thing that I was change is putting the Lions first and then going Vikings, Packers, then the Bears. Because I think the Packers are more experienced than the Bears in a sense that they're probably going to win some of the bigger games towards the end of the season. Right. I think the Bears are probably going to struggle in those games. I don't think they're quite ready to be that crazy. But I think the Lions are going to take it. Vikings are going to be right below the Lions, and then probably the Packers and Bears.
John, it doesn't sound like you agree.
No, I think I agree with them. I agree with them. Having you have actually no, hold on. You're gonna have Lions first, Packers, Vikings, Bears. Is that not what you just said?
I said Lions, Vikings, Packers, Bears.
No, Lions, Packers, Vikings, Bears for me.
This is getting very confusing very fast.
I'm always confused.
You know what? I said
helping.
my list, and we'll just roll with that.
Carlie?
I kind of like the way that it looks right now, the Vikings on top. Like you said, they've been a very pleasant surprise, and they're doing very well. And I know the Lions have been a Super Bowl pick, but I think with the Vikings being a pleasant surprise, really changes everything for the Lions. So I like how it looks right now, Vikings, Lions, Packers, Bears.
See, it's hard for me to go against the Lions. I really love this team. And, the other day, I felt it in my jewels. I really feel like we're going to see this team playing in February. I really do. I really love watching this Lions team.
Out of pocket. This is not a Wednesday night, Richard.
Look, I don't know what you're talking about, Carlie. I don't know what you think I said, but I didn't say anything. I just really feel like the Lions are going to find a way to be playing in the Super Bowl. They don't have to win the division to make it. They'll be in the playoffs no matter what. But I say if I had to predict the final standings right now, I'd go Lions, Packers. I'd go Lions, Packers, Vikings, Bears.
Okay.
But with those top three, the Lions, Packers, and the Vikings all making the playoffs, that Brian Flores defense is a lead in Minnesota.
Yeah, I think whoever wins this week between the Lions and the Vikings, because that's a pretty big game, I think that's going to tell you a lot of how this division is going to shake out.
We'll have to see come playoff time, though, because Sam Darnold has never played in a playoff game. So you got to see if he can prove himself in the playoffs when they make it, when or if they make it. So
yeah, I'm with you 100%. I think this week's going to determine a lot. Hold on. Oh, we got another call here.
Another one.
Off the hook, man.
All right. Sports Pack, this is Richard speaking.
All right, this is Levi Bubba Boy Baker out in Dallas, Texas. All right, I'm calling regarding them boys, them Dallas Cowboys, the best team in the NFL. My question to y'all over there at Sports Pack is, what do you think the Dallas Cowboys need to do to get themselves back into contention? All right, I mean, I think personally, you got to give the ball to Super Zeke. All right, that's my favorite player, Super Zeke. Yeah, Ezekiel Elliott. You got to run the ball more. Get it going. If we can't run the ball, we ain't gonna move the ball. All right, CeeDee Lamb's great and all. Dak Prescott, best quarterback in the NFL, but you got to run the ball. Give it to Super Zeke. All right, what do you think them boys need to do to get back into contention? Because I think they got all the pieces needed to win a Super Bowl. Oh, one more thing. I'm not too much a fan of that big Bustis guy that was on last week.
Oh, dang.
I don't like the Jets. I don't like the Giants. And if he's a fan of either of those teams, him and I ain't going to agree on it, all right? Not a fan. Levi Bubba Boy Baker out.
Well, look, Levi, first of all, let's not take a jab at my guy, Big Bustis. He was one of our first call-ins. He's a friend of the show. We love Big Bustis. And, we're probably going to bring him in next week to respond to what you're just saying because we don't like our guys just catching strays. We're going to give him a chance to defend himself. Tune in next week to see what Big Bustis has to say about this from Bubba Boy Baker. Now, look, Bubba Boy, if you want to hear what I think about this Cowboys team, I'll let you know what I think. I think their problems are deeper than Ezekiel Elliott. He's one of the issues because he's not a big-time running back anymore. They have no running game. They get no push on that offensive line, and their receiving core outside of CeeDee Lamb is mediocre. And it really all starts with ownership. Their owner / general manager / head football coach, Jerry Jones, said they were going all in this offseason to replace all the things they lost, and they didn't replace any of them. And instead of being focused on fixing the roster, Jerry Jones is more focused on threatening the jobs of local sports reporters because he doesn't pay them to criticize what he does with the Dallas Cowboys, in his words. Their problem starts up top in the front office with ownership. Jerry Jones needs to get out the way. He never will. So until Jerry Jones gives up, lets go of the Cowboys, loses his grip some, which is never going to happen until, God forbid, he passes away, they're not going to have success. The Cowboys will never be beyond just a pretty good team as long as Jerry Jones is in the way, because he doesn't let them have a GM. He doesn't let the coaches coach. He doesn't let the players be the players. He is in the way.
See, I think Levi's stuck a little bit in 2016. You know, you have Zeke, you have Dak, but man, Zeke's washed. Dak, I don't know what the heck you're doing. Heck, you might be throwing to some unknown land. You're getting blown out, and then it just comes down to Jerry Jones, like you said. A lot of problems going on with him, and then I also think, as I said earlier this week, their head coach, Mike McCarthy. Simple as that. A lot of problems there, and they got a lot to do to even be a much better team than they are right now.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem, the biggest thing that poses a threat to the Cowboys is Jerry Jones, obviously. So that's all I got, Jerry Jones.
It's Jerry's world, baby. We're just living in it.
Amen.
Now let's talk some college football. Baby, it's college football time. Give me my theme music. You know, we got some people in the live chat that feel the same way we do. I just took a quick glance. Cassandra Goodwin says, this caller is obviously delusional.
Good taste.
I couldn't agree with you more. But look, we're done talking about Jerry Jones, because talking about Jerry Jones just makes my feet itch. I just don't want to talk about Jerry Jones anymore. He get on my nerves. Let's talk some college football, because we have a big-time weekend coming up with some of the biggest games we've seen in recent memory. We're going to start off with the team from Tuscaloosa, from Titletown, the number 7 Alabama Crimson Tide, going back on the road to Knoxville, Tennessee, to take on the number 11 team in the land, the Tennessee Volunteers. Now let's do a quick flashback. Let's go back in time real quick. Got the time feeling like Thanos. Let's revive vision. The last time the Alabama Crimson Tide rolled into old Rocky Top, they were taken down by the Jalen Hyatt-led Tennessee Volunteers in one of the greatest games I've ever seen. It was incredible. What do you have? 5 receiving touchdowns. They brought the goalpost down, threw it into the river. Amazing field storming. The environment was crazy. It was incredible. Both of those teams were 2 of the best teams in the country. Now, this year looks a little similar. You look at it, you're like, man, Alabama, Tennessee, both ranked in the top 12. These are some of the best teams in the country. But really, I'd argue they're some of the most questionable teams in the country. Both teams have looked shaky over the past few weeks. Alabama, ever since that first quarter against Georgia, have been on the struggle bus. They lost to Vandy. They came very close to losing last week against South Carolina at home. Tennessee lost to Arkansas. Came very close to losing to Florida last week. A struggling Florida team, might I add, last week, barely beating them in overtime. Both teams look very questionable. Now, Carlie, you hate Alabama a little more than I do, being that you are indeed an Auburn fan. I'll give you that. So we'll start off with you. How do you think this game is going to play out, and what does the winning team need to do to really separate themselves from the other?
I think SEC play is just a totally different beast. I mean, you really don't know what you're going up against. It can be different one week, different the other week. I mean, we saw that when Alabama played Vanderbilt, but we saw Alabama's dominant performance against Georgia. So I think it's really crucial for Alabama to play the way they did against Georgia if they're going to win this game. If they don't, and I don't necessarily foresee that happening, especially in Knoxville, I got Tennessee on this one.
Yeah, I look at this game still like 50-50. I mean, it's going to be a close game. I'm calling it the Struggle Bowl, because both of these teams, all the momentum.
I like that a lot.
All the momentum that these teams had built up to really go into this game has come to a screeching halt. Like, these teams have no momentum going into this game. But it's a night game they're not a night game in Neyland, but it's going to be a sold out Neyland. It's going to be 3:30 ABC SEC, which isn't quite as good as CBS SEC.
Yeah, I was say.
But this is basically this is the SEC matchup of the week. Besides the other big one that we will talk about in a little bit. But I really just think I haven't seen anything from Alabama aside from one quarter of football against Georgia.
Right.
That would give me confidence that they can walk into a hostile Neyland. Because that Georgia game was in Tuscaloosa. This is in Neyland. This is the game that these Volunteers, every 2 years, they wait for this one. This is a big one.
Circled on the calendar and everything.
Exactly. Like, I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I think Tennessee might win the same way they did 2 years ago. I think we're going to have that kind of game.
See, I agree
So
with
give me
having
Tennessee if that wasn't clear.
I agree with having an instant classic like that. But I think Alabama wins it because with your quarterback, Jalen Milroe, very experienced. Now, the only thing that does throw a little poison to me, this will probably be one of the loudest environments that DeBoer is going to play in, being the head coach of Alabama. Mm-hmm. So, obviously, how do you prepare for that is a question that you throw out there. But then, obviously, the rest of the team to go out there, I've kind of seen they're lacking a little leadership over there on both sides of the ball. And if you're lacking a little leadership and then you have a loud environment like that with Tennessee, we saw, there was leadership with that team 2 years ago, but we saw what happened when the leaders of Tennessee took over and we saw the instant classic there. But I'm going to go solely off Jalen Milroe and Ryan Williams getting it done, but they win by a touchdown in Neyland. Very, very close, bloody nose fight for that whole game.
Yeah, these are two teams I'm really not very confident in. I don't really have a good feel on either of them.
I completely agree.
Yeah, it's like you look at this Tennessee team, their defense has looked impressive week in and week out. But if you really watch their games, their offense has been nothing to write home about.
Yeah.
Yes, their running game has been there, but they have not been able to pass the ball effectively at all. Nico Iamaleava so far has not lived up to any of the preseason hype. He was a highly rated recruit coming out. I expected him to jump off the screen this year, but he really has never seemed comfortable. Especially over the last 2 weeks, he really hasn't become one of a top-tier SEC quarterback like many like myself expected him to become. And then when you look at this Alabama team, yes, the offense has been dynamic just about week in and week out. Last week, Jalen Milroe threw 2 interceptions, kind of limited them a lot. Their offense has still been there, but their defense has been very shaky.
Yeah.
So when I look at these teams, it's kind of difficult to make a pick, but to me, by Wednesday, really late night yesterday, it became obvious who I had to pick here. It's rare that you hear me say this, but I'm going with Alabama to win this game. I trust them more offensively. I know their defense hasn't been great, but Tennessee hasn't shown me that they have the personnel, or at least the confidence in each other as the personnel, to really take advantage of this Alabama defense. I think it'll be a close game. I don't expect it to be a blowout. At most, Bama by 2 touchdowns, because I think Tennessee's inefficiencies at offense their offensive inefficiencies could hold them back, but I expect Alabama to get it because I trust their offense more, and I have zero confidence in Nico and this Tennessee offense from what I've seen so far this season.
But don't forget about those first few weeks when we saw Tennessee drop 51, 71. Like, this offense is capable of dominance.
They have a very high ceiling. They're just not they're not performing to that ceiling right now.
Right, because like early this season, they were scoring a lot, but they really weren't playing anybody. Ever since they've really gotten into SEC play, their offense has been a shell of itself. Against Oklahoma, very good Brent Venables defense. Yes, nothing was really clicking. Against Arkansas,
nothing
clicked. In Florida, we know this Florida team has zero defense. This Florida team is not impressive at all. Outside of DJ Lagway, the freshman at the quarterback position, their offense has not been able to show up since they got into SEC play. And then you're going up against Alabama, an Alabama team that's really been on the ropes recently. Their defense isn't the greatest, but it's better than Florida's and Arkansas's. So it's like, if it didn't click against them, it has to click now, but will it click now?
That is a very good question.
I don't trust that I will. I'm leaning with the Swiss Army knife, Jalen Milroe. He is a game breaker. He's one of those players that isn't just a game wrecker. He's a game breaker. He breaks open the game for his team. I'm leaning Jalen Milroe in Alabama here to get it done. Now look, quick little curveball here. We do have a couple Friday night games that are going to be played. One of those games was one of the teams that played an absolute thriller last weekend, the Oregon Ducks, going on the road to take on a 1-5 Purdue team. I just want to shine a little bit of light on this game just because this is an easy slip-up spot for Oregon.
Very much.
Purdue doesn't understand what a number next to opposing team means.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Purdue has a thing for beating teams that are ranked second in the country coming off big games. If there was a time for Oregon to slip up, this would be it. I don't think they're going to slip up. I really like this Oregon team and would love to see them rematch Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. But I do want to say, I'm not going to put them on upset alert, but I just want everybody that's listening right now to watch out for that game and do not be surprised if Purdue finds a way to keep it close.
There's a glimpse of hope somewhere.
Exactly. So, but now, let me get back on topic. Another big-time game, top 25 matchup in the Big Ten. We have the Michigan Wolverines going on the road to take on the number 22 team in the land, the Illinois Fighting Illini. Schrader, I'll let you start it off.
Yeah, I like this game because it's going to be hard-nosed Big Ten football. That's one thing that I like watching. I like defensive games. I like good run game, which if you watch Michigan football, that's what you're going to get.
Yep.
But I really like this Illinois team. And I think this Illinois team is going to shock some people. I think they're going to beat Michigan this weekend.
Okay.
See, I'm on the same page with Illinois. I think they're a much more complete team on the offensive side of the ball. Obviously, we've seen a lot of quarterback change from Michigan, not really figuring out too much, very low scoring. Defense has held them in a ton of games. But that's the one thing we've seen with Luke Altmaier in Illinois this year is they've been very complete. He has 14 touchdowns, over 1,400 plus yards, and 1 interception. It's a very complete offense right there. So I think they win by a touchdown this weekend against Michigan.
Yeah, I think Altmaier has just been a much more impressive quarterback, and they have really proved to play very well in stressful and tight situations. Like, they've had 2 games this season already that have gone into overtime, and they ended up winning. So I think proving that you can play well in that stressful situation and still come out with a win says a lot about how complete your team is.
Yeah, I'm really bought into this Illinois team. A lot of people got to see them when they played against Nebraska in what was an extremely good game. It was a barn burner up there in Nebraska. Had to see barn burner. It was a really good game, and I feel like a lot of people kind of started saying, okay, this team's pretty good. But after this weekend, when they go and beat Michigan at home, I really feel like people are going to start taking this team very seriously. I love Luke Altmaier at quarterback, and their offense is really taking off, and their defense is really solid as well. And we look at this Michigan team, they don't have a pulse on offense. I was talking about Tennessee being inconsistent. Well, at least they have had success at some point. Michigan's offense has been non-existent. Yes, they can run the ball, but that's all they have. They have no answer at quarterback. They've really struggled. I think Illinois is going to win this game and put the nation on notice as a really putting their hat in the ring as a Big Ten title contender. Now, look, biggest game of the week this year, this season. Look, it's been horns down all week for me. Horns down. You see, I got my Georgia sweater on. I also have my Georgia. Hold on, I'm messing up. Hold on. My Georgia t-shirt on. Look, we ain't playing around. This is a huge game. Schrader.
Yes, sir.
You know what, Carlie? You're laughing. I'm going to throw it to you first.
Okay.
Georgia, Texas, who you got and why?
Okay, first of all, Texas, this #1 team with 2 elite quarterbacks, okay?
2 quarterbacks in on the field at the same time.
In Texas.
Yeah, I've been to Texas. I mean,
It's Texas, yeah.
Texas.
It's a big state.
I ain't seen nothing too crazy out there.
Especially seeing the way that this Georgia team performed against Alabama. Please, give me Texas all the way.
Okay. Whatever. Look. Okay.
Okay, Auburn.
John, what do you thoughts on the game?
No, I want to hear his opinion first.
No, you go, John.
Look, take
All
it.
right,
Take it away,
look,
John.
fair enough. Horns down all week. I know it's going to be one of the toughest games, the second toughest game we play all year. We have some questionable stuff going on in defense. Really, you need to rotate Ellis Robinson, arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the country when he came into Georgia. You need to rotate him in there. My dad was telling me he's at the game last week. They rotate him a lot. Man, get him starting. But the one thing these guys know is how big this game is and what the opportunity presents. So I'm not worried about it. I think this is going to be one heck of a game. We win by 7 and UT and Horns freaking down.
Horns down, baby.
Yeah, that's not happening. I'm sorry, fellas. I mean, as much as I would like to join your little horns down party, because
No,
I
you
love
hate
nothing
Georgia.
more than doing
No.
this. I do hate Georgia, but I love doing the horns down. But I mean, this Texas team is giving me vibes of dominance that I don't see often. This is a complete team. This is one heck of a head coach. And I think Texas is going to win this game by a large margin. I'm talking 2 possessions because how many points did your defense give up to the worst, one of, if not the worst team in the SEC last week?
31.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
Your
also here's one
defense
thing
ain't
to
gonna
say.
be able to do
Mississippi
that.
State is the only team in the country to play back-to-back top 5 teams in their whole schedule. So they're going to get better every week. And obviously we saw right there, they've changed their quarterback, so it's going to be a better system. That's right. People in the other room are agreeing with us. Horns down. Horns freaking down, Schrader.
All those, yeah.
They're also
brother.
biased, just like
I'm
both of
sorry,
y'all.
man. I look at this Texas team. I haven't seen anything from Georgia. Where's the Georgia? If the Georgia team that played Clemson were to show up in this game, y'all might have a chance.
Did you see Carson Beck's stat line last week?
Yes, against Mississippi State. That's like the worst defense in the SEC. You're playing one of the best this weekend, brother. Your
And
team
they
is going
know.
to have every single thing that can possibly go right to beat
has to go
Texas.
right.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's going to happen.
All right.
You know what, Schrader? I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. Georgia has not looked great since week 1. The game against Alabama, they surged too late in the second half. They could have won that game, but there were 4 turnovers, all by 1 player, but it doesn't matter. The team lost as a whole. 4 turnovers held this team back. The next week against Auburn, they won the game, but it wasn't that impressive. Mississippi State, their corners outright got exposed. And you're going on the road to Austin, Texas, to take on who is ranked as the number one team in the country. Carlie already said they have two elite quarterbacks that can step in and get the job done. Quinn Ewers is trying to prove to everybody that he is a top 10 talent. They probably have some of the best wide receivers in the entire SEC to go along with what is statistically the number one defense in all of college football. So, Richard, why are you standing up screaming horns down after all that? All that really sounds like is that the Georgia Bulldogs are going to lose this weekend on the road in Austin to drop to a two-loss team. Well, I'm going to tell you why that's not going to happen. Because they cannot allow it to happen. This Georgia team has already suffered one loss, a tragic loss on the road in Alabama in a game they had opportunity after opportunity to win. But as of right now, with the 12-team playoff being a one-loss team, their fate is still in their hands. If they go on the road in Texas and lose, they can kiss their SEC championship hopes goodbye. Because it's a slim chance of all these other teams losing 2 games and letting them get in. And then also, if they do lose 2 games, their playoff chances are no longer in their hands. Teams like LSU and Texas A&M and Alabama can squeak in over them, Ole Miss as well. Georgia has to win this game. Kirby Smart and the guys know they have to win this game. They definitely have the offense to do it. The passing game and the run game, when Mike Bobo decides he wants to run the ball, they can compete with the best of them. It is that defense. Kirby Smart and Glenn Schumann have to get that defense together. Their cornerback situation has been terrible. The safeties have been good, yes. The run stoppers have been solid. The edge rushers have been wishy-washy. The defense has got to lock in. I think Georgia's going to find a way to win this game. I feel like they're going to play their best football this coming Saturday because they know they have to. They already have one loss. They don't have a choice. They have to go out and give it their all. I got Georgia winning this game. Final score, 38-34. It's going to be a great game. It's going to be another barn burner like we talked about earlier. Go Dogs all the way. Horns down. I believe. Who got it better than us? Nobody. Go Dogs. Sick 'em. Horns down, baby. All the way. We're going to take a quick song break, but stay tuned, because when we get back, we're talking more NFL. Let's go, Dogs!
This is Super Bowl champion quarterback Brad Johnson, and you're listening to Sports Pack on the Wolf Sports Network.
Quick reminder, we here at Wolf Sports Network R&D, the radio station first, and this little awkward pause that you're hearing isn't an awkward pause at all. We're just taking a quick song break. So if you want to hear the amazing music that we're playing right now, hop on over to Wolf Sports Network, hit the play button in the top left-hand corner of the screen, or hit play here in the middle of the screen to hear the great music that we're playing. And stay tuned, because when we get back, we're going to be diving into this loaded NFL weekend and making our Thursday night football picks. You do not want to miss out on this. And quick little thing, you know, I just got really emotional there making that Georgia pick. And you know what? It's because I'm scared, you know? Like, I'm scared, you know? Like, I've seen my Georgia Bulldogs have some pretty underwhelming seasons, 8-win seasons, 9-win, get close and drop. I've seen it. And you know what? I don't want to go back. I'm not used to losing 2 games in the season. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not used to this. So it's like, I'm scared. And when I get scared, I get angry. And like, but we're going to win this football game. We're going to find a way to win this football game. You're going to be there and watch it. I'm going to be watching, and I'm going to be louder than I just was. Go Dogs. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a second.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the start of a new semester, which only means one thing. Triple Threat is back.
But wait, there's more.
That's right, folks. Not only is Triple Threat back, but we are live. So every Friday from 11 to 12, grab a drink and some popcorn and get ready to enjoy the show. Only on Wolf Sports Network.
Yeah, buddy.
So like I mentioned before, I am running for homecoming court for UWG on behalf of Wolf Sports Network, and I know not all of our listeners are UWG students, so part of my position on court is to raise money for the UWG General Scholarship Fund. I will post the link in the chat, and we'll also put it in our bio for Wolf Sports Network Instagram. Fundraising closes tomorrow at 11:59, so any and every donation is accepted.
Yeah, anything helps. I mean, we're putting in some hard work here. We would love some raises. I believe. Look, Schrader's a volunteer. We need to get him paid. I think. Well, Schrader, he needs about $50,000 a year. Me and Carlie need about $750,000.
What about me?
Nah, you'll go to like 30.
Okay, fair enough.
Me and Carlie need about $750,000 a year. So like your donations, that'll help us get fairly compensated. I think we deserve Stephen A. Smith money. Now let's talk.
Not actually, but.
Oh no, actually. Now let's talk.
Oh yeah, I 100% agree with Richard.
Oh yeah, come on now. In the NFL, only one thing matters: chasing a dynasty. Only one thing does matter in the NFL. Like that extremely handsome guy with the beautiful sounding voice said, chasing a dynasty is what matters. What matters here, maybe getting a raise, but anyway, we're moving on from that. We got a pretty big time NFL weekend. Look, I'm rambling. I'm getting excited. I might be a little scared for the Georgia game, but I'm excited for this NFL weekend. It's gonna be a great one. Let's start off with one of the better games of this NFL slate that's filled with really good games. The Houston Texans, led by C.J. Stroud, red hot team, really popular pick to make the Super Bowl, nonetheless the AFC Championship, if not the Super Bowl, going on the road to Lambeau Field to take on the Green Bay Packers, led by emerging superstar quarterback Jordan Love. It's going to be a really good game. I'm really excited to see this quarterback duel that's gonna happen. It's gonna be a great game. I'm extremely excited. It's gonna be 75 degrees at Lambeau. It's a very rare sighting here in mid-October. Schrader, you got a Packer green sweater right now for those of you that aren't watching on YouTube. It looks pretty good. It looks good on you, man. Thank you. Packer green might just be your color.
Maybe.
So you know what? We'll start with you first. Who do you think is gonna win this game and why?
Yeah. So actually, I think the weather might have changed because I'm looking at it now, and this is a big factor. Right now it says 56 and raining.
Ooh,
I think this is our
yeah, they'll say that.
See, I gotta start checking my stats. Because I was looking this morning and they said 75. I was like, dang, that's
what I was.
You were looking at Georgia? You sure you weren't looking over here?
I know I was
either way, I mean, this is the first like soggy game in Lambeau, right?
Oh,
this
sounds
is where
weird,
the
man.
Packers thrive, and I think that that's going to be huge for the Packers because this Houston Texans team, they enjoy the comforts of a dome.
They do.
They like playing in comfort, and I think this Packers team is good. Jordan Love's really good, but so is this Texans offense. But really, I see this Packers team winning this game, honestly, to say, hey, we're still in contention for our division. Like, it might not be a division game, but they're in a division where you just need to win. And I think the Packers are going to do that on Sunday against the Texans.
See, I didn't realize it was going to be a soggy weather game like you're saying, and I think the Texans win by 3 because the one thing that pops into my head is we all know where C.J. Stroud played, Ohio State, a super yucky and cold state of Ohio, absolutely yucky. So I think with experience of that and just the way their offense is playing, I know you're down Nico Collins, but you've seen what else they've been able to do without him, and their defense is playing really great. I just think they win by 3. It's going to be a great fight, and, they get it done by 3.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with the Texans on this one, too. I'm really impressed with C.J. Stroud. And also with Aaron Rodgers being, injury-prone, I guess, that doesn't seem super reliable to me. So I'm going to go with the Texans on this one.
Oh, sorry. I just.
You
said Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I'm tripping.
J-Love.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I was trying to give you a second to catch it, but it's all good.
Yes.
You meant Jordan Love. Look,
Yes.
we all make mistakes. I talked about this the other day.
human.
I
There's
know,
just so many games to keep up with.
Look, Carlie. Even
so
I
many
make mistakes. I
names.
know I may seem perfect to you and everybody else watching, but look, we all make mistakes. We all human.
Stop saying that. You're just making us feel better. You know you don't make mistakes.
But look, this is going to be a great game on Sunday. I can't wait to watch it. I really wanted to pick the Texans to win this one, but no Nico Collins. They still have Stephon Diggs and Tank Dell, yes, but Nico really knows how to take the top off the defense. He is one of the better wide receivers in the NFL. I still believe it's going to be a really close game. The Texans' offense is still going to be successful, but I'm going to lean Packers. I really like that Packers defense as well, very opportunistic out there in the secondary. They're just having a really good season. I really like this Packers team. Both these teams are going to be having deep playoff runs this season, but I think the Packers are going to get it, and maybe by a last-second field goal to really win this game. But it's going to be a big-time quarterback duel. Another big-time game. We talked about the NFC North earlier in the show. We have the Detroit Lions, a popular pick to make the Super Bowl and represent the NFC, going on the road to take on one of their biggest division rivals, the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota. Red-hot team. Offense has been on fire, led by Sam Darnold and Justin Jefferson. And also their Brian Flores-led defense that has been really just shutting down teams, putting them in the locker, beating them up, taking their lunch money, throwing them in the locker, giving them swirlies in the toilet mixed with a wedgie. They've been going ham on people.
Dang.
This is a tough Vikings team. Carlie, I'm going to let you start us off here. Who do you think wins this game and why?
I think, like I said back in the call-ins, I think these Vikings are really a pleasant surprise, and just their defense is super strong too, and they really know how to put the pressure on, so I'm going to go Vikings on this one.
Yeah, I feel like with teams like the Vikings, when you don't expect them to be good, and then they start the season off hot, like the Saints did, like the Seahawks did, I'm still at that point where I'm like, are the Vikings ever going to, fall off a little bit?
They're going to lose?
I see this as a massive prove-it game for the Vikings.
Right.
Yes, they beat Green Bay, but this Detroit Lions team, in my opinion, is far above Green Bay, and they played with the Cowboys. They didn't just play the Cowboys. They were messing with them. They were running trick play after trick play.
They demolished them.
I think this will be a close game, but I think the Lions, which are my Super Bowl pick, so there's a little bit of that thrown in there, but I think the Lions are going to go into Minnesota and get a dub.
See, this is a very much a testing game for the Vikings, and I completely agree with that. But it's going to be Lions all day. Lions are going to win by 10. They are, I think, a much better team. They have a very strong defense, and I know Minnesota has a really good defense. But with the way they played last week, I see you shaking your head.
No,
but
you
the
just
way they
gave
play
them
with
your 2-possession curse, bro.
No,
team
dude.
that you say is going to win by 2 possessions actually wins.
Dude, I don't care. With the way, I'm sorry, when you get Penei Sewell, your offensive tackle in and almost score a touchdown that, and you're winning that big of a game, yeah, I think you're just going to play better, and I think you're going to beat them by 10. You're going to beat them by 10 all day.
We'll see. I mean, they were playing the Cowboys. I mean, the Cowboys suck. Sorry,
That's true.
big Bubba Johnson. I know you called in earlier, but look, the Cowboys are trash, and the Vikings are not. But I'm with you, Schrader. I think if this has got to be a big-time prove-it week for them, because we did see their offense stall out against the Jets in London the last time they played.
Yeah.
Their offense cannot afford to stall out against this Lions team because while their defense might jump on them early, we've seen in the recent years, great offense has been beating really good defense recently, and the Lions are going to find a way to score points, whether it's early in the game or late. This is a Dan Campbell team where they say we're going to bite your kneecaps, we're going to fight hard every minute of the game to make it a ball game, and that's what they're going to do. I don't know if the Vikings are going to be able to sustain their success throughout the entirety of the game. I'm going with the Lions here. I expect it to be a pretty good game, but I think the Lions are going to find a way to get it done, but the Vikings are still a legit contender this year. Also, another big-time game. We have a Super Bowl rematch with the Kansas City Chiefs going on the road to take on the San Francisco 49ers. John, let's start with you.
Chiefs. That's all I'm saying.
Simple. Okay, short, sweet, to the point. Schrader?
Chiefs are going to get their first loss. I'm going don't doubt the Niners right now.
Okay.
I'm going to agree. I think the 49ers really need to prove a point. They're out for revenge, and I think they want to prove that the Chiefs have gotten a lot of outs this season.
Yeah, I think I'm with Carlie and Schrader for once. I mean, all three of us don't usually agree on the same thing. That's pretty rare. You know what? I like this. We should all get along more. I mean, Carlie's been labeled a hater by people on the show who shall remain unnamed.
Look in the mirror.
We're gonna keep them anonymous. We don't know who said it, but you've been labeled a hater, and a few viewers have said Carlie's a bit of a hater too. But you know what? We agree on this one. I think San Fran's going to get back into the winning column. Well, they just beat Seattle. But they've been iffy. They've been giving up big-time leads in the second half, something you cannot do against the Chiefs. It's something they've done the past couple years. They faced them in the Super Bowl. But this is a very banged-up Chiefs team. No Rashee Rice. Their running back room has been iffy all season, very banged up. This is a Chiefs team that, yes, they're undefeated, but are they really? They came very close to losing to the Falcons. A toe beat the Ravens
They've
for
almost
them.
lost every game.
Exactly. They came very close to losing to the Bengals. And Patrick Mahomes has thrown an interception in every game he's played in this season. I think the 49ers are going to get it done here, shake things up, maybe expose the Chiefs a little bit. They'll keep it a close game, but I think the 49ers get it. Maybe like 31-24, 31-20. I think the Niners really assert their dominance in this game and show everybody they are a good team. And real quick, because we do have some breaking news coming out of the NFL, there's word from the Pittsburgh Steelers that Russell Wilson will be their starting quarterback this week when they host the New York Jets. Look, I do not feel good about this at all. I think it's very stupid. Maybe they're looking for a spark, thinking their offense can take that next step. But their offense is at its best when Justin Fields is there. They've been winning. He brings a next level rushing ability that Russell Wilson, even at his best, never had. He was great. He was a great mobile quarterback, but nothing compared to what Justin Fields is able to do. And their offense hasn't taken that next step because they have nothing at receiver outside of George Pickens. Justin Fields is the reason their offense has been this successful. I hate the fact they're making this move. Schrader, how do you feel about it?
I do not understand it. I think Mike Tomlin's been very conservative in just about everything he's done with this team. He does what he needs to do to stay above 500. And right now he's doing the Steelers were doing what they needed to do to be well above 500. Justin Fields was winning ball games.
Yep.
But I don't know what putting an old quarterback who hasn't played this season and who is recovering from how many injuries does. I think Wilson's going to play like a half, and then they're going to go, oh, crap, we shouldn't have done that and put Fields in.
It's stupid, man.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Why change something that works?
Exactly.
That's
If it
the
ain't broke,
simplest
don't
question.
fix it.
Yeah, if it ain't
Exactly.
broke, don't fix it. Exactly. That's simple as that.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think if they have Wilson in and they leave him in, they're not going to come out with a win. I think Justin Fields is doing exactly what he needs to be doing, and it really doesn't make sense why they're switching that, but to each their own.
Look, I read something earlier, and it frustrated me even more. It said if Justin Fields was to start 61% of the snaps as Steelers quarterback at the end of the season, that 7th-round pick that they sent to the Bears would turn into a 4th-round pick. Now, that is really the reason why Mike Tomlin is making this decision.
Probably.
I'd be furious. I'd be furious if that's the
dumb.
real reason.
Oh, yeah.
That is stupid. You are costing your team a really good chance.
Get him, Richard.
This is playoff seeding. Your record determines your playoff seeding. This is an AFC matchup. You're taking on the Jets, a team that is surging. Devontae Adams is expected to play on Sunday. We know what he does when he's paired up with Aaron Rodgers. This is the offense that they've played together in. This Jets team is very talented and looking to make a late push to win their division and make the playoffs as a wild card. You cannot afford to lose this game if you're the Steelers. And putting Russell Wilson in, I'm not saying you're doomed if he starts, because I'm a Russell Wilson fan. But Justin Fields has been playing great ball. Mike Tomlin, I love you as a coach, but you're acting stupid. You're acting like a fool. And I know you're not a fool, because if you was a fool, you would not be a head coach in the National Football League for never having a losing record as a head coach. But this is a stupid decision that you're making. Justin Fields needs to be your starting quarterback on Sunday. The team has looked great under him. The offense hasn't been incredible because you haven't given him the pieces that he needs to make this offense incredible. Justin Fields needs to be the guy in Pittsburgh. I'm pretty upset.
This guy could be a head coach, a GM, OC, DC. You guys hear it first.
Richard
It's
Reed
him
can
all
do it
day.
all.
Look, if you need a safe hire, you want to, like you said, a head coach, defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, a general manager. If you need an easy hire, now look, I ain't gonna be the cheapest thing. Like
What's the price tag on it?
Baby, you got to pay for this. You can't put a price on this. Baby. Look, baby, you got to pay for this. But look, I am here to help your organization. If you'll have me, I'll be happy to help you succeed. Now, We have a bit of a dud of a Thursday night football game tonight.
No, it's not.
I'm not.
Yes, it is. Yes, it
I'm not
is.
going to sugarcoat it.
This was bad.
The Denver Broncos going on the road to take on the New Orleans Saints in the Superdome. Oh, I can't say I'm the most excited for this game, but Carlie, I know you're a Broncos fan. You probably are excited. So you know what? Give us your pick for this game. Let us know why the Broncos are going to win it.
I'm very excited, and honestly, all bias aside, I really do think the Broncos are going to come away with this. They've been hot, they've been good, and especially with Derek Carr out tonight, I don't see the Saints having a very good game. Why are you laughing? What's funny?
No, I was laughing at something I said a minute ago.
Yeah.
But carry on.
Yeah, I'm surprised by this Broncos team, to be honest. I think Bo Nix is quietly done pretty well for a rookie quarterback. I mean, 5 touchdowns, 5 picks isn't great, but he's leading a Broncos team, this Broncos team, to a 3-3 record. They're walking into the Superdome, Carr's out. We did see one heck of a second quarter from this Saints team. 27 points in the second quarter. The other 3 quarters, they did nothing. I like Spencer Rattler. I think he's got potential to be a good NFL quarterback because of how much he elevated that South Carolina team when he was there.
I agree.
But as of right now, I think the Broncos are going to win this game, not comfortably. I think Rattler's going to have a pretty good game, along with the rest of the New Orleans Saints. But I think the Broncos are going to win this one, maybe by 10, 14 to 10, something like that.
I can respect it.
See, it's like you said, it's a dud game. It's not the most interesting to me. Well, you know, 2 of the quarterbacks last year that I was not a personal fan of, put it to you that way. Of course, they're both starting, and I just think it's going to be a field goal slugfest, and the Broncos win by 3, and Bo Nix has a decent game.
I think the Broncos win this game, too. The Broncos' defense has been stellar, and the New Orleans Saints are without Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed. They're 2 best pass catchers.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of important.
Exactly. They don't have Derek Carr either starting at quarterback. I agree with Schrader that Spencer Rattler will eventually be a really good quarterback in the NFL. This past draft cycle, I had the Rams drafting him in the 3rd or 4th round. I thought it would have been perfect to have him sitting under Matthew Stafford and eventually take over for the Rams, but look, that's neither here or there. He's on the Saints.
Yeah, what do we know?
He's the Saints quarterback right now. Look. They ain't hiring his GM. Yeah. That would have been the perfect move, dude. And then sitting under Matthew Stafford, too, that'd be perfect for Rattler. But anyway, somebody will appreciate my utter genius at some point. Look.
It's frightening sometimes, isn't it, Richard?
Hit my phone if you need something. Look, I told you got to pay for it. But look, baby, we can work out a deal. But look. But anyway, I think the Broncos are going to win this game. The Saints are banged up, inexperienced at quarterback, going up against a very good defense. And Bo Nix has been playing better and better each week. Give me the Broncos, and what's probably going to be a bit of a boring game, maybe 2017. I might not watch the whole thing. I might just watch the condensed highlights of the field goal kickers.
I feel bad for Kirk Herbstreit tonight, man.
Man, Kirk always gets the worst.
This is the worst day of the week for that man.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible, and it messes up his travel schedule. But look, no, that doesn't matter. What matters is we had an amazing episode of Sports Pack tonight. I appreciate all of you for tuning in. Stay tuned because we'll be back live same time on Monday and same time on Thursday. If you want to call in and be a part of the show, DM us on Instagram and we will get you in. Just reach out. Don't be shy. Come on. We're all family here.
We love it. Seriously, we all love it. We love y'all.
Pause. And look, also, homecoming is this weekend at the University of West Georgia. If you're free this weekend, you ain't got nothing to do.
The game.
You don't have plans until later. Come to the game. It's at 2 p.m. We'll be live doing a tailgate show from 11:30 to 1:30. And come see Carlie win the homecoming court
Let's
voting.
not jinx it, guys. Don't jinx it, guys.
Nah, bro, we gonna win it. There is no jinxing it. We are you are going to win this. And, we did help lead your campaign. Shoot, we might as well. Yeah, I mean, we did the work.
Yeah, we did it all.
But anyway.
Who was out there tailing for 2 hours today and you decided not to show up?
Hey, I was out there.
We're going to get the win.
You're going to get the win. You're going to bring the boom.
I had other things to do. That's all we have for Sports Pack tonight. We appreciate all of you for tuning in. I'm your host, Richard Reed, as always, here with John Halley, Jackson Schrader, and Carlie Pear. See y'all Monday.
Horns down.